Oh man, I just love breathing. This is so much better than no strips. So I just cloned Alex Hormozi's funnel in just a few minutes. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's the $100 million offers guy because he wrote a great book that's all on $100 million offers. So I was able to clone his funnel in just a few minutes. Now, I'm no slouch on funnel. I've sold about $500 million so far, mainly because of funnels that I built, but I never like starting from a blank sheet of paper. So I used a simple trick to clone his best funnel in a few minutes, and even what you would consider is the hardest part of cloning a funnel. So let's get into it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is going to save you a ton of time and make cloning somebody's funnel way easier. So if I go look at their main funnel, which if I just go to their homepage and then click I'm ready to scale, so it's got some copy here, it's got this video here, which is going to be an important thing to remember. It's got a few testimonials, it's got a few images, and then it's got this calendar embed. And so what I'm doing here is I'm taking an assessment of what are the key elements of this. Because anytime you want to clone a page, you got to know what you're getting into here. So I'm going to need possibly some sort of video, I'm going to need some testimonials, and I'm going to need a calendar embed. So now that I'm taking a list of those things, I'm gathering them myself. And so before I start prompting Claude to copy this page for me, I want to make sure that I know exactly the elements that I need to prepare before I do that, because otherwise it's just going to be all this back and forth that's not necessary. So if I go over to my computer here on my desktop, I've gathered my photo of myself. So now I have that I can use on there. I've gathered some style guides. So I just created a style guide with AI. It's literally just a PDF that walks through my colors and typography and whatnot. You can have AI generate that on the fly, or if you don't care, you don't have to worry about that. Alex, he uses a lot of his purple and he uses kind of bold typography. So he's kind of got that dialed in. And then I have some testimonials that I've gathered myself. So I've prepared those things before I go start prompting Claude. And when you do that, it's going to save you a lot of time. All right, so a big thing with this kind of page, and you may come across this if you want to go out there and clone somebody else's page, is it's got this big video on there, which can be a pain in the butt because AI is really good at copying stuff, but how the heck do you replicate a video? This is how. So I added this extension to Chrome called Video Download Helper. And once I've added that to Chrome, all I do is click this little icon and then I start downloading this video. So it's literally going to download the video from this sales page to my computer. So I'm going to pop that on my desktop with everything else. So now I've got that video downloaded. But now how do I replicate this? I don't even want to watch the video. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Gemini and I'm going to upload that video file. And so that video will be uploading, and then I'm going to use something called Whisper Flow. And so this is a really useful tool that if you're just too lazy like me to type stuff into AI, you can just talk to it. And all I'm going to do, and you're going to hear me talking as I'm talking to Whisper Flow, but then you're going to see the text pop up on here. This is a video that is a sales video that I want to model using AI. What I want you to do is I want you to create a script of a similar video for me that I can condense into 3 minutes or less. And I want this script to follow the structure of the video that I've uploaded, but I want mine to focus on selling my own e-commerce training program in which I'm going to run a 2-day workshop that shows people how to double sales in their e-commerce business by building funnels and also building better ads while also removing themselves from 80% of day-to-day operations. So turn the video I've uploaded into a script that I can use that sells my own similar workshop. So now you see all that text that I just typed in, and then so I'm going to let Gemini do all that thing. It's going to analyze the video over there, then basically apply the steps that I just talked about. And while that's running, I'm going to pop open a tool because now it's like, okay, when it gives me the script, how do I actually get this video made? So I'm going to use a tool called Pictory. So Pictory, if it is just pictory.ai, I'm going to log in over here. And this tool, which I have no affiliation to, but allows you to basically turn text into videos. Now for me, if I was really copying his sales page, and I would just do the video myself. I want to hear on camera, like this is obviously a thing that I can do. But if I didn't want to be on camera at all, I would just use this AI tool. And I'll show you what this looks like. So we'll see if the video is done yet. All right, so once Gemini is done analyzing the video and giving me the script, I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to copy this whole script here. I'm going to go into Pictory.ai and do the text to video, and I can name it, whatever I want. Hormozi sales video format. And then I'm going to paste in the whole script. And then I'm basically just going to let it run. And in this case, I'm going to do a 16:9 video. I'm going to choose whatever video preferences I want. And so visual source we've already done. I'm going to do AI voice. We don't have to worry about theme or anything. And then I'm just going to click generate video. And so this is basically going to run and I'm going to end up producing me a finished video that I can use on the page if I didn't want to do a face to camera type video. So now you've got all the assets prepared. We've gone through any sort of image or text assets and that kind of thing. Beyond just the copy you're going to have AI generate. We've got a video ready and now we're ready to actually copy the page. So the easiest way I find to do this is I don't use any of the fancy AI sort of agents or any of that kind of stuff that people are very excited about. I just use plain old Claude. And so I believe you may have to have a pro account, but maybe even not. But you go into Claude and I'm going to use Whisper Flow again. So I'm basically just going to open up a new chat inside of Claude and tell it, I have a page that I want to model for my own brand. I'm going to give you some of my own assets, including testimonials, my brand guidelines, a calendar embed link, and even a video file. And what I want you to do is model the page that I'm going to give you, but apply it to my brand and my offer. And so I'm going to be offering my own 2-day workshop for e-commerce business owners who want to scale from 7 figures to 8 figures by building funnels and ads while removing themselves from 80% of day-to-day operations. So use the page I'm going to give you as a model. Don't copy their content. Just use their layout structure and general sales psychology, but use it to create my own page. Now, for my page, I'm going to be doing an embed into a WordPress page. So give me the HTML I need that I can just paste in there. So all that's going to show up there. And then here is the page I want to model. I'm going to give his fancy page here. I'm going to go ahead and upload my photo, testimonials, and brand style guideline. I'm going to make sure that it knows I've uploaded my brand style guide, my personal photo, and some of my testimonials. Then I'm going to give it my calendar embed link. Copy this whole thing. Here's my calendar embed link. And then I'm going to tell it something important because otherwise the page may not look very good or they may do something weird. For any remaining photos or any other assets that you don't have a specific file for, just put a placeholder and I can add that later. And I'm also going to give it a link here. Here's also a link to my photo. All right, so I've given it all the context, all the assets that it needs, and now I'm just going to let it run. This will take a few minutes, so we'll come back here in a few minutes once Claude is done doing its thing. So Alex Hormozi has a whole team of people that are building funnels and building ads, but you can actually do all of this stuff just by yourself with AI. So if you want to get access to my exact process for creating ads, creating funnels, going way deeper into all the aspects you're going to need to really create iterations of pages, 100% with AI, plus a custom GPT that helps you plan these kind of landing pages, all the content you need in the sales psychology, then get my AI funnel toolkit below this video for free. All right, so now the page is done generating, and you can see you can either download it here or you can preview it over here. And sometimes when you have these image files that don't have a reference, it'll look a little funky. So if I just go over here and I go ahead and copy this, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it on my WordPress. And then, with this process, you can use this with any page management or CRM tool on the planet. I've used this with Shopify a bunch, with WordPress, but literally any place that allows you to upload an HTML file or put HTML in a content block, which is every platform on the planet, even with no technical skills whatsoever, all you do is tell Claude, like, hey, I'm using this platform. How do I show this page on there? And it'll help you sort that out. But it's very easy with WordPress. And so if I just go over to a WordPress page, I click HTML, and then I edit the HTML. I pop in this big block it gave me, update that. You can see it's kind of displaying down there. I click save and preview, and here's the page. And so with my theme, there's a few things that I'll need to sort out but look, it's already got my calendar block in there, which is awesome. So I can take calendar sales appointments just like Alex Hormozi. And the only little thing, which I've seen this before in my theme, which I can tell it, because what's gonna turn this from like a 6 out of 10 page to like a 9 out of 10 page, it's really gonna convert, is when you start tweaking it a little bit, which is so easy with Claude. So I can say like right here, which I've seen this before, which is, it looks like my buttons are showing black text on a black background. Help me fix it. And then I may need to give it the actual live page so it can tell. Here's the live page. We'll just have it stop doing that because I want to give it that so it has full context. The more context you can give AI, the better results it's going to get. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to let it run. And you'll see it'll be able to sort out this simple issue. And we can kind of look through the page. So this is a video placeholder that I would replace with my actual page. But otherwise, this page is like 90% done. So now you can do whatever tweaking you want. No coding, no design, no none of that sort of stuff. You're literally just talking with AI and creating web pages, which is insane. I mean, this took me all of a few minutes. I think it looks 100 times better than whenever you use like one of these big page builder tools, which is the frustration that brought me to this, because I literally tried 4 one day, back to back, signing up, paying for accounts, and they were all so ugly and so clunky. And that's when I figured out how to do this with Claude, and it's such a game changer. All right, so it's fixed this, and so all I would do is basically copy this, pop it over there, it'll fix those buttons, and we're done. All right, so you've learned how simple and easy it is to clone any funnel out there just with a few simple AI tricks. But it's not gonna do you any good unless you learn the psychology and strategy behind scaling a business, which all comes down to just 9 words. And so watch this video next to figure it out. Now, time to get back to work.